You're listening to episode 98 of
Fresh Floppies.
What's up
Hey.
to our sidekick? Oh, no, you go. We didn't talk about this beforehand.
What's up to our sidekicks and henchfolk out there in the Geek Nation? You're listening to Fresh Floppies, a show that we do that you're listening to. Welcome.
Yeah, I'm not cutting that.
I'm JD of JDsHeroComplex.shop, Hero Complex, located at 4327 Main Street, Philadelphia, PA. With me is
Noel. Now, last night when we were recording, you did the postal
19127.
There we go. You got to be consistent.
Philadelphia, PA, 19127.
You dox yourself.
Yes, that's right. Come and get me. We're here to talk about the books that came out this week, but with no spoilers, but with lots of fun.
Well, that's debatable.
Sans
you know what?
spoilers plus fun.
There's things that you can't say about yourself.
Oh.
With certainty or confidence.
See, now I disagree because every other podcast that I ever listen to is like, oh, we got a great show lined up for you today. We're going to be talking about this and that, and it's going to be a bunch of fun.
Yeah,
I feel like everyone does that.
You could say it's a great show, but you can't say like, I am funny. Listen to me be funny.
No, I just said we're going to have fun.
Yeah, but that's in the eye of the...
Not because of me.
That's in the ear of the listener.
Yeah, right.
Like, I'm going to try...
It's in the ear of the beholder.
I'm going to try I'm going to try and present a fun program, but it's up to you to tell me if it's fun or not.
Yeah.
Like I can't call that shot.
Especially after we over-explain it.
Yeah, like look how mature I am, and then you're not mature. Or look how funny I am. Like, come on. You're not allowed to say that about yourself.
The Marvel giant-size Amazing Spider-Man #1. It's a one-shot by Kevin Smith, Al Ewing, Chip Zdarsky, Giuseppe Camuncoli, Mark Buckingham, Kei-Fu, and more. This is a double-sized boyo.
It's a big book. $7.99 MSRP, and it is a series of short stories. Well, no, I mean they're longer than short stories. They're like maybe 10, 12-page stories.
Yeah, they're not
like
short.
Half issues.
Yeah.
These aren't short. This was overall. I don't really care too much about anthology books, and usually these are like one good story and
a bunch of
backups. Drawer stories.
Yeah, drawer stories.
For those of you who don't know, that is reference to they would have commissioned out of continuity whatever stories. They'd throw them in a drawer and then would only publish them for just like whatever backups, or we don't have something this week or blah, blah, blah. Like, so they're like held off stories.
So I will say all of these except for the last one feel like drawer stories, right? They're just evergreen, right?
A little bit. I think the last story kind of feels like a drawer story too.
Well, I mean, it's leading into an event.
Is it?
It's leading into Kid Venom Team Up coming in 2026.
Oh.
Did you not even read that?
Yeah, I did. And then I completely took it out of my brain because I don't care.
No, I don't care.
At all.
No, I don't care. But
I want to talk about...
Yeah. Okay, so the first one...
So this is a series of short stories. The first one written by Kevin Smith with art by Giuseppe Camuncoli.
Nice to see him back on Spidey. Love Giuseppe Camuncoli.
Danielle Orlandini.
The colors?
No.
Oh.
Assist penciler.
Oh.
Because some of it is very Camuncoli, and some of it is Camuncoli-esque.
Oh my God, you're right.
Yeah.
This page with the flame on, that's not Camuncoli.
No, but the next page with
definitely Camuncoli.
That's definitely Camuncoli. Yeah. Either way, though, this was funny. This was stupid.
It was a commercial for unstable molecules.
It was a commercial for unstable molecules, but also it was written in. It's written by Kevin Smith. It's very, very verbose, but it's littered with alliteration.
Yeah,
only 90s or 70s to 90s comics kind of have. The idea of like I'm monologuing to myself in rhyme, and that is a very specific flavor of comic books that I think some people cringe at.
Yeah,
but in a short burst as an ongoing joke for this little like short story, it was really fun.
Yeah,
I liked it a lot.
This was fun.
Yeah.
I'm on again, off again with Kevin Smith and a myriad of his projects, but this was fun. It is classic butt jokes.
Oh yeah, it's classic butt jokes, but also there's an ongoing of how do you refer to Mysterio? Is it Miss Mysterio?
Mr. Well, at one point he calls him
Mist?
Mrs. Stereo.
Yeah, Mrs. Stereo. Yeah. It's just this is dumb fun. I enjoyed it, and yeah, it is just a commercial. But then again, like there's incredibly terrible, great stuff like Deadpool popping up and then they close him out.
Yeah.
This is just silly fun.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
I
it was
really
fun.
enjoyed it.
The next one is by Al Ewing with Mark Buckingham and art and Rachel Rosenberg. It's called 616 Day.
Mm-hmm.
For anyone who doesn't know, 616 is the comic book Marvel universe. That's the designation in the multiverse of the comic-specific Marvelverse, right?
Which they also get into in the story. Because we have our Win character explain it to
Well,
Spider-Man.
both of us, I think, were not that interested in this particular release.
Mm-hmm.
And then at different points, we both flipped through it and went, oh, Winston. Oh, okay. Well, I'm interested.
What is his full name? I always forget.
Oh, I don't know.
It's in here. Keep going.
He's from, for anyone who doesn't know, he's basically he's like a Doctor Strange type character. He works for the powers that be, which are sort of the magic, the keepers of the magic in Marvel, and like keeping everything, I guess, regular. they're like a Metamucil for magic.
I'm Win, by the way, avatar of the powers that be, the forces at the root of magic here in the 8th cosmos.
That's his full name?
No,
I'm kidding.
But I think somebody does say his full name.
So yeah, I was excited just because I like Win from Gods, the John Hickman miniseries.
Oh, it's wonderful.
Anytime Gods related things show up, I'm excited. So the last time Mark Buckingham drew a Spider-Man story, I think it was for Joe Kelly, and you were not tickled. You didn't like it.
Oh yeah, it was a little like backup story.
Mm-hmm. I like Mark Buckingham on Spidey, especially if he's drawing classic era characters.
I was fine with this because it is. So there's a plot device in this book where we see like other eras of disparate heroes in the Marvel universe, and it's a specific style that is, reminiscent of like 90s.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Works.
Well,
also,
I'd say it's more reminiscent of like 70s, but yeah. 90s was all like edgelordy crosshatch.
He has to do facsimiles of different styles.
Yes.
And it works. Also, it works a lot because 90% of this story has no backgrounds and or just energy.
Right. It's just Kirby crackle.
Yeah.
It's a lot of Kirby crackle.
I think when his work, at least his more modern work, is more abstract, I have no issues with it. Mm-hmm. It's when it's like supposed to be today,
right,
and very detailed buildings in the background and stuff that it just looks like over inked and a little muddy. Redwin. I looked at Redwin.
Yeah.
That's his full name.
Redwin.
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 Reddwyn. Redwin, and he goes by Win.
Oh.
Redwin.
Redwin. It's not Redwin.
No.
Anyway, this was so now that we know his name, what did you think of the story?
Oh, I think it was really fun. It was very Al Ewing, just taking something outside of the page and making it a plot point. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like this is very metatextual commentary. Like, what if Spider-Man can stand outside of the stories and have a little adventure?
So what we just said was it's meta, but why?
Why is it meta?
Why is it meta?
Oh, because 616 is a...
What's the stance being taken here?
The stance being taken here?
Yeah, like, what is the reason that we're having this 616 meta commentary on the origins of the Marvel universe? Is it just being explained to Spider-Man what created the Marvel universe, or what do you take away as the ultimate message of the piece? Is there one?
That's a big question. I don't know.
Because normally when I read a book like this, where it's like...
Oh, you're talking about... Go ahead.
Normally when I read a story like this that is metatextual, there is something being said about comic books or about the reader or about the characters inside the story. Oh. Whereas this just seems like, oh, okay, we're dealing with the beginnings of the Marvel Universe. There's a monster trying to eat the beginnings of the Marvel Universe, I guess. And then... I don't know if
it's that style of metatextual. In this instance, metatextual is just your understanding of how these made-up arbitrary things were identified by some other writer at some other time as a plot point for the current status of the story. Mm-hmm. And then they literally rip characters from previous events in other comics and other time periods into the story. So it's metatextual in the sense of they're using the text of comic books to tell this story, not necessarily metatextual in the sense of there's a secret or hidden meaning about the medium of comic books underlaid.
At least that I can.
Yes,
we're just having fun.
It's just more like
Okay,
I'm gonna have fun with the rules to tell this story as opposed to, and that's my thesis on the art of comic booking.
On the fifth dimension.
Yeah, I don't think it's that level of metatextual. It's just more like these are references that comic readers have. I'm going to leverage them.
Cool. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right. I was worried that I was missing an overarching
I don't think so.
theme.
Personally, I don't think so.
Cool.
It's more like a winky theme.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
All right. Wonderful. Giant Size Amazing Spider-Man Rapid Advancements by Chip Zdarsky and Keifu. We're introduced to a new character.
Yeah.
We've got a character origin story.
This feels like
And some really nice art.
Zdarsky in his Friendly Neighborhood run was just like, oh yeah, I got an idea. I'll do that little thing, and maybe somebody else can use them later. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was just a cool little like hero/rogue intro, and it's a pretty tight little story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the art's gorgeous.
Yeah, I like
Really
Cafu
nice.
a lot. Like he did that Iron Man run with Christopher Cantwell that I just think
Scarlet
is
Spider.
really, really wonderful.
Damn it! I have to
Wait,
read that.
with the Scarlet Spider.
Isn't there Scarlet Spider? Doesn't he show up in that run?
Oh, for like 2 or 3 issues.
Yeah. That's all I need.
I'm sorry. Out of
I'm in.
25, it wasn't like the biggest takeaway. If you would have said like, oh, with Hellcat, like yes, with Patsy
that's
Walker,
with
she is
Hellcat,
an
that's right.
ongoing supporting
Yes.
character for all 25
See
issues.
where I left off, because I was enjoying it. We were reading it.
Yeah, it's a good
and I
book.
was enjoying it. And then I was like, oh man, the next issue has Scarlet Spider in it. He's joining the cast. I'm excited to finish this, and then I just never got to it. So yeah, and then it's wrapped up with Prelude to the New Dimension by Mitsuyasu Sakai and Gerardo Sandoval. And this
I hated this.
I didn't hate it. I don't care about it. I don't care about the Spider Society. There was a miniseries for the Spider Society. There's also a Kid Venom series by, I believe, the same writer. And then in this one, that character is tied into the greater Venom mythology because he's from a different time period. So now that he's here, something happens.
Yeah, there's the cool,
Which I thought was neat.
The cool part of this, I guess, is that yes, he is from the 15th century, and they established the rules of the multiverse, or at least the Spider-Verse, is that it doesn't traverse time, only space.
Yeah.
So how the hell are you here? And we can't get you back to where you were.
And my original question to that is, how do we not know, or how do we know that in the multiverse, if you're going to a different universe where this kid exists, how do we know that his 15th century isn't on the timeline scale of our century?
Well, we know that because they tell us in the book.
Because they're just like, we
Because-
can't traverse time. I'm
yeah.
like, okay, well, how do you know that it's a different time?
Ask Grant Morrison with his hyper time theories and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
That's not necessarily this book's concern.
Yeah.
What I didn't like about this book was that this is like my least favorite style of writing. Every single bit of dialogue is the clunkiest exposition humanly imaginable. Like it's Kitaro, that Sakari Katitomo, one of the Miyamoto Norio's big four. No, do you know him? Like everyone is talking like they're talking at the camera, and I absolutely hate it.
I've been listening to the Tansy Garden podcast, the Rogue One,
Yeah.
and she's talking about Andor and the way that show is written, and it's not written in this way.
No.
What people keep talking about, with regards to streaming shows and movies, is that they write things for people who are on their phones, and they have to say, because they're not looking at the screen, they have to say things like, "Oh, what's up, big brother?" And
Yeah.
now we know that they are related.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is very.
It's
bad.
written for someone who's on their phone.
It's
while reading.
it's written for, I guess, a 9-year-old without
I mean,
as much.
it is. I have a feeling Kid Venom is for the kids.
Great. It sticks out like a sore thumb in this giant size,
Yeah.
and it's just not good.
Yeah, I didn't care about it.
Yeah.
It wasn't for me.
But there's a big
that
event
was,
coming.
This was gnarly.
Sure.
I thought that was a neat idea.
It's a neat picture.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
Brutal.
Quit trying to make null happen. No.
Trinity, daughter of Wonder Woman. I'm sorry, DC All In presents Trinity, daughter of Wonder Woman, number one by
There
Tom
we go.
King and Belen Ortega and Alejandro Sanchez.
Mm-hmm.
This is a very silly book. This is silly. And it's got Pariah.
Pariah. Okay.
I didn't mean to do that too.
It's literally an
Damn it.
ongoing joke in the book. I enjoyed this.
Okay.
This is a type of silly that I enjoyed because it's a self-referential silly, not just a low silly.
Yeah, like a Three Stooges.
But also, who the fuck is this for?
Right.
Because
Right.
it is so verbose. It is so expository. It is very, very layered. But the characters are petulant children.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I enjoy the the juxtaposition of those things because I think it's funny. But who am I handing this to?
Right.
Am I handing it to a kid? Which is totally fair. If I'm handing it to a kid, they're going to read about concepts that are maybe a little bit elevated for them, which is not really a big deal. It's not like it's hard to follow. It's just there's big link, like there's 5-syllable words in here.
Yeah.
Which is cool. Am I handing it to an adult who's going to be like, well, this is silly,
Right.
stupid, because it's about corgis, infinite corgis across the universe and across the multiverse that they have to capture to save time.
Yeah.
Yeah, who's this for?
I have no idea.
Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just for me. That's fine, but I don't know.
I thought it was. It's when it started. I was like, I don't care about this. First of all, what I thought it was reprints of the Trinity backstories in Wonder Woman that we've been getting, and then I was like, oh no, this is different. Okay, so it's a whole. I guess it's a one shot, and then I get to the end. I'm like, oh,
yeah, it's like a 6
it's
issue.
a mini series. I don't. Okay, I'm not going to stay on board for this, but that is a great question because I don't know who this is for. I didn't care about it until we had the 3 time displaced.
Yes, we have 3. So,
which is I always love characters interacting with themselves in different ages.
yeah,
I'm kind of a sucker for that
paradox. I think this is. There is a little bit of a mild marketing brilliance to this. These started as backups for a new character who was Trinity as a older teenager. I want to say 16, 17 is the primary character of the Diana book, but off screen. Yeah. She's the narrator basically, and comes in and out. And instead of waiting 20 issues to have anything with her, they started developing these backups of different ages of her, like at 9, at 8, at 12,
and then 16 or something.
Yeah, it's like 12, 8, 12, and 16 or something like that. And that it's kind of organically coalesced into, okay, we have these 3 different versions of this character. Let's do something with it.
Yeah.
Because if you're reading them separately, it seems like they are different characters. But against each other, when they're actually all talking against each other, it's really, really funny.
Yeah.
Like, it's really, really funny. Like, the older version is basically saying, like, you know what? I wasn't going to hurt you because it would hurt me.
But I'm rethinking
I'm rethinking it.
Yeah.
Like, and the 12-year-old is incredibly petulant. There's a surprise at the end of the book that I don't really know what's going on. But, I'm in. I'll give this a shot because it does, even though it's very twee and very cutesy, it does tie into the current Wonder Woman book.
That is my other question is, there's a big reveal here.
Yeah.
That ties directly into main events of the Wonder Woman book.
Yep.
And I guess maybe I should have ordered this for all of my Wonder Woman subscribers, but I don't know if they would want it, even though there's a very big reveal at the end. Yeah. It's a very different vibe than Wonder Woman is. So, yeah.
I mean, maybe, you know what? Get on your system and text all of your polls, your Wonder Woman polls. Hey, have you been enjoying the backups in Wonder Woman? If so, this is an important read.
Yeah.
This 6-issue miniseries that just started.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I like it's like a get their consent. Because if I was pulling it and didn't want this vibe, then I would be like, why did you pull this for me? But it's got some important plot stuff in here, and it's kind of it's cute. I think you just have to. I think the tone of this book is unexpected, and if you flow with it, or if you submit to it, it's a fun read. If you are constantly questioning, like, why is this so kiddie and blah blah blah, and then I think it's a struggle. Yeah, just let it roll over you.
It's a shame because I would see this character on the front of the cover A. I would love a book of her. I would just love a Wonder Girl Trinity series or mini-series without all of the cutesy bits.
She's 3 different actual characters, right? Robin, Wonder Girl, and Trinity.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. You're right. That is her
Yeah.
as Trinity. Yes, you're right. I forgot.
I think we will get that eventually because that version of the character doesn't show up until the back half of this book,
Yeah.
and she's arguably the lead. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like this is
Well, I think Wonder Robin is the lead.
because we start and stop with her.
Right?
You know,
She's,
I think the next
main-
issue is probably going to tell us the rest.
Yeah.
Because we do also get voiceover from each one.
I will probably try the second one.
I'm pulling this. It's a miniseries. I'm
you're
going
in?
to pull it.
Nice.
Yeah, like
Okay.
this is a unique enough read to
Yeah.
kind of keep going, regardless of like
Nice. I like
it's different.
Yeah.
And I'm looking for
Sometimes
different.
we need some different. Speaking of young superheroes, the Summer of Superman continues with Superman Action Comics 1087 by Mark Waid and
Skylar Partridge.
Patridge.
Skylar Patridge, I think.
Yeah. I hate to start this way, but the art is not what I want.
I didn't like it.
I do not like the art. I think the story is cute enough. It's fine. Especially going from a Ryan Sook cover like this and then cracking it open to see the art inside. It is not.
The
does not
art
speak to
style.
me.
So I've never read Skylar's work before. But the art style for me seems like it can't necessarily pick a lane. It wants to be a little bit more skeuomorphic and photorealistic, but then also at the same time wants to be a little bit more exaggerated, like John Timms.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not picking, and it's kind of muddying the tone a little bit.
Yep.
There's some action. There's layouts that are great. There's action that's great. But when we just have like establishing stuff, it's just not a
It
style
feels
I
very
really enjoy.
flat. It's not very dynamic. It feels very flat.
Is that a coloring issue? Is that an
Maybe.
inking issue? Because the art itself, the layouts and the figures themselves, I have no issues with. It just feels like a book without sauce.
Yeah.
You know, like it just feels a little flat. It feels a little fine.
Yeah, without sauce.
It's
Yeah,
sauceless.
sauceless. Yeah.
Is that the kids?
I also,
are the kids
I'm not a
still
big,
saying that?
I'm not a fan of like how he shades Superman's suit. It's very Jim Calafiore from the '90s.
Skylar
when
a
he-
male or female?
what's that? Oh, I don't know. Oh, I'm sorry. There.
I don't know
who
if
Skylar is.
Skylar is. Yeah.
But the story is also just fine. I don't think I was blown
Yeah,
away by it. I
this
was like,
is-
okay, it's a Superboy story.
It's a little Mark Waid navel gazy.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
okay. I mean, it does Clark better than, you know what? Is this Mark Waid doing his version of how he would have done the conversations in Man of Steel? Because that's kind of what it is. Like young podcast.
Yes.
Younger.
I was thinking of Man of Steel while I was reading this.
Yeah, like, oh, this is how you have the conversation of we want to protect you, but also like we know that you want to help.
oh my God.
Yeah,
we
this
had the
is
same exact thought.
This is like the actual conversation they should
Jesus
have had,
Christ.
not maybe kill him.
Yeah.
Maybe let him die.
Yeah, man. We're on the same page.
This is
Although I do like his original Superboy version of this outfit. Instead of red trunks, he's got red shorts and he's got red high top chucks.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this suit is dope.
There's a lot to like in this book, but it is maybe it's because we've read so much. How many different versions of this have we already read
Right,
over
like
the
a
last
young
40 years? Like
Superboy
if this
kind
was
of
if this
story.
was picked up by somebody new now, then
Yeah.
it's a really sweet Smallville story.
Yeah, it's cute.
Yeah, it's twee, it's cute.
It's
fine.
just, the stuff that I've been enjoying from Mark Waid in the past 5 years, it just doesn't feel like that.
no, this
vibe.
is not World's Finest Good.
Right. Or even, what was it? Batman and Robin Year One. So you read something I didn't. What's that?
Yeah, we're gonna talk about
The new Thunderbolts.
The new Thunderbolts. Asterisk New
Psych.
Avengers.
So anyone
Written
who
by
doesn't
Sam.
know, sorry, let me just real quick background. This was solicited as the new Thunderbolts when I ordered it.
Yeah.
When it came into my store, it says New Avengers, which is a cute little tie-in to the movie.
Yeah, they pulled a fast one, I guess.
I'm sorry, it's a cute little tie-in to the marketing of the movie. I haven't read it. I don't think it has anything to do with those versions of the characters.
No, not at all.
Okay, great. Just wanted
No.
to correct myself.
So it's written by Sam Humphries with art by Tom Lima. It is taking up the continuity of where we last left the Thunderbolts.
Oh, snap. This looks kind of brutal.
It's a brutal book.
Ooh.
It's basically Bucky not wanting to be on a team or put a team together.
Classic Bucky.
But then Black Widow needs help with a thing, and then this is basically a team up book. And there's a couple of really good action scenes. The Jackal is involved. Some cloning is involved.
This looks awesome.
And it's pretty fun.
Oh, gross. There's a lot of gross in here.
It's a pretty fun body horror action-y book, and I really like the supporting cast. We haven't really been introduced to all of them yet, but this team of new Avengers is going to be Bucky, Black Widow, Laura Kinney, Wolverine, Clea, Namor, Hulk, and Carnage.
And Carnage, which is Eddie Brock now.
Yeah, so like, if we're
oh, look at that cover of number 2.
Yeah, I know.
That's gorgeous.
If we're talking about the new Avengers, that was an era. It was an era of early 2000s comic books where they took the Avengers were associated with just like the big three and truth, justice, the American way kind of stuff, and the new Avengers was more of a
ragtag team.
Ragtag,
we had Spider-Man
anarchy kind of team.
We had,
characters that weren't associated with the team before were kind of put together, and
Luke,
this follows along with that. Yeah.
And drawn by I think David Finch, so it had a very different stylistic.
David Finch had the first big art, and then Steve McNiven jumped in,
which was a wonderful time in my comic reading history.
Oh yeah, no, it was awesome.
I have a lot of nostalgia for that Brian Michael Bendis era.
This captures a bit of it. It's not as tight. I will say the first act of this book is actually pretty jerky.
Okay.
Like it's a lot of like, but the art carries you through, and I think the back half when they actually start to get the team together is pretty cool, and then you got some gnarly action in the back. Where's Sam Humphries been? Right?
No, I don't.
Like,
he's another one of those names that I'm like, I've heard his name, but I don't think anything I've ever read has kept me being like, oh, this is a guy I got to watch.
He did Green Lanterns during Rebirth
with Jessica and Simon Baz.
Absolutely awesome book for like 25 issues.
Was it?
Yeah, man.
Oh, I missed it. I didn't bother.
I was in the shop. We were reading.
I wasn't.
It's absolutely fantastic. He did.
Although I like those two characters.
Oh, he did a Star-Lord run. That's awesome. That's absolutely awesome.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like, wait. What am I thinking of? Did Humphries work on Nova?
No.
Like young Nova? I think after Jeff
Duggan.
Loeb created him, I want to say Humphries did
Duggan.
Oh,
Jerry Duggan. Yeah. Unless he did some of it, but Jerry Duggan did the majority of that run, like 24 of the 36 issues.
My bad.
Yeah, you stupid. Sam Humphries was a big deal for a little while, and then I guess he went off and did some other writing other places. I haven't seen him on a Big 2 book in a very long time. So the name was like, yeah. And then I was not previously familiar with Lima's work, Tone Lima, and it's great. This is a solid book.
I'm actively excited to read this. This looks fun.
This is a really, really solid comic book.
And I don't know who these characters are, but I can't wait to find out. Those dudes look gnarly.
I mean, the Jackal's involved.
Oh, okay, never mind. Yeah, that solves it. I know what they are.
It's a very, very, very...
They're clones.
It's a very fun book.
Great.
Yeah, you should check it out.
Oh, I'm gonna. All right, I read... Rainbow Rowell's back on Runaways. So Rainbow Rowell is one of my favorite Marvel writers. She did a really great Runaways run, which I'm in the middle of. And she did a really great She-Hulk run, which I believe we're both huge fans of.
Oh, yeah.
Read all the way through. Sad that it ended. And now we're back with another Runaways miniseries because there is a Doom bot on the team who is awesome. And now we've got One World Under Doom. So this is one of those tie-in series. And even though I'm not caught up on the original Runaways, you don't need to be. You're fine.
No.
This tells you what happened in the finale of the last series and picks up from there. And it's basically the Doom bots going around collecting all of the rogue Doom bots.
Oh, no.
Including our Doom bot, who he knows he's not Doom, but also he is Doom. Yeah. And he accepts the duality of that. Like I know I'm a Doom bot, but also I'm Doom. Relax about it. And so, but like part of Rainbow Rowell's strengths is hanging out with the characters, having conversations, being really engaging and charming and funny, and then slapping you with some action and some pathos.
Yeah.
Great. I love this series.
I can't wait to read it. I didn't get a chance to. So it's very fresh.
Very fresh.
I'm going to talk really quickly about the latest issue of One World Under Doom, written by Ryan North with art by our man, R.B. Silva.
Oh, still killing it, man. I'm flipping through it. It's awesome.
You should catch up on the series.
I want to.
It's more. First of all, the first page, full splash panel or one page splash is absolutely phenomenal. Just absolutely in every way phenomenal, and the book just kind of keeps going from there. It is. We are at a point now in this one world under Doom where something has occurred, and Doom has to handle it. But in order to do so, he actually needs the help of the Avengers. So they're all working for him now for this one thing.
Yeah.
And then that's not the interesting part. The interesting part is all of the conversations afterwards that precede it after they succeed. And some surprising characters maybe make a good case for why Doom. And then we get a nice last page reveal of a character I haven't seen in a while.
Great.
This is a really, really, really good book.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
I really want to catch up.
You should. This event has been more contemplative than
Anticipated.
Yeah. But I probably should have anticipated that because it's Ryan North.
You know what also sounds really cool that I haven't had a chance to read? Have you checked out Superior Avengers?
The first issue.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Who are these Avengers? I don't think it's a spoiler at this point.
They're multiverse. So, Doom's son, I forget his name.
I forgot he had one.
Yeah, I think he's adopted or not. It doesn't really matter. Doom's son, the heir of Doom.
Yeah.
Part of he wanted to show the world how successful a world under Doom could be, so he reached into the multiverse to find Avengers of a Doom-conquered, Doom-led world.
Yeah.
And brought them over to show, like, look how cool, look how great, a possible future where Doom did control.
Yeah.
But then you find out in the first issue that they actually hate it. They're there to take him down and save this
nice
universe
Sounds
from
awesome.
not suffering theirs.
Right?
Yeah.
Sounds
really
very
good.
cool.
Really cool characters, too. I think it's supposed to be like 100 years in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're from 100 years or 150 years in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope they do something with those characters afterwards, too.
Sounds cool.
But it does align with the idea of, like, the superior...
Mm-hmm.
Where they take like villains and put them in roles, or the heroes and put them in roles. So you've got these almost like sleeper Avengers.
Yeah.
It's a good book.
Almost like a Thunderbolts.
Kind of.
Right?
Everything is Thunderbolts, but the actual Thunderbolts.
Yeah, exactly. Thunderbolts is no longer Thunderbolts.
What else did you read?
I read Supergirl, number 2 by
Sophie Campbell
and Tamara Bonvillain on colors. Sophie Campbell writes it and draws it. And this, again, who's this book for? This is a modern story involving a modern Supergirl, but everything about it is 1960s coded.
Yeah.
Like all of the crazy, we just did a bunch of drugs and then wrote Supergirl comics. All of those ideas are here too. And I don't understand who they're writing this for, but
is it accessible though?
Yeah.
Then that's okay.
Yeah. It's
like,
it's a very specific vibe.
Yeah, if it's like as long as it's accessible and as long as it doesn't. So I didn't get a chance to read this issue. I read the first one, but I understand what you're saying. As long as it doesn't require the reader to understand the references in their entirety, then it's fine.
Right. I don't understand the references. All I know is that it's 60s coded because I know how crazy shit was in the 60s.
Yeah, like when
Streaky the Super Cat is here, and then there's like she has a comb, and she doesn't know how it works, but it is a comb that she runs through her hair, and it changes the color of her hair to give her secret identity. Yeah. It's like crazy shit like that.
Yeah, what was it? And so bringing that stuff into modern comics usually doesn't work very well. Brian Bendis tried to do it. Mm-hmm. Where he had there are examples in continuity of Superman being able to change his face or his hair color by just thinking about it real hard, I guess.
No kidding. Oh, I didn't know that.
And Bendis did it. He made his hair curly and just because he was undercover. Huh. He's able to just do it.
Oh, I don't remember that. That's neat.
And everyone was like, "What?
How dare you?"
Here's the panel where they did it in the 60s. And maybe it doesn't track now.
Yeah.
Maybe just put a wig on.
There is a revelation here where we see there's in the first issue there are 2 Supergirls. Mm-hmm. And then this is the explanation of why there are 2 Supergirls. And for some reason, it looks like Earth's atmosphere or sun physically changes this character's body to look like a different body.
Cool.
which I've never seen in any Superman book. Like, she's from somewhere, and then she comes here, and then as soon as she hits the atmosphere of the sun, she becomes like a triple thickums.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, like she was a very scrawny girl, and then all of a sudden, thick with 3 C's. And she says like, "Oh, the Earth's sun is doing this to me," and I'm like, "This is a brand new thing that doesn't exist anywhere that I've ever seen." But whatever.
Whatever.
Yeah. So this, all of that is to say, this is really fun.
Yeah.
I was surprised at how delightful
Is this an ongoing or a mini?
No idea, but I'm like I'm in on it.
Cool.
It's really fun.
Yeah, I like Sophie Campbell's
And
work.
this is a book that you can give to kids.
Yeah.
So that seems important to mention. Like, I don't think it is for children specifically. It has that sort of like Pixar.
Mm-hmm.
It's for kids, but also adults. This is that whole vibe.
This is a trade that you can give to a 10-year-old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I read something not related
I
whatsoever.
was going to say, can you give this to a 10-year-old?
They wouldn't get it. Toxie team, Ahoy Comics, Toxie team up featuring the Toxic Avenger and Jesus Christ from the pages of Second Coming. Do you remember Second Coming?
Yeah. Is that Mark Russell?
Yes. And this was written by Mark Russell with art
there it
by
is.
Richard Pace, who is
Pace.
one of
Friends
the
with him on
artists.
Facebook.
He's one of the artists for Second Coming. Second Coming was drawn by both Richard Pace and Leonard Kirk. Because you had different time periods kind of dealing with it. So for those of you who don't know, the series Second Coming, I would highly suggest it. It's very funny and very weird. Basically, the pitch of that book is God on high is like, hey, all these superheroes are, doing my work because they're, fighting for the people and they're pretty alpha and they're pretty dope. But my son over here is an artist and he's kind of a wimp. I'm going to send him to Earth to room with Superman character. I think he's like Solar or something. So he could teach him how to be a real man.
Jesus.
Basically.
That wasn't on purpose.
So he wants his son to be more proactive and less hippie. And then hilarity ensues. Jesus, who has not been on Earth for over 2,000 years and left a little acrimoniously, is having to room with a superhero who's just like, no, you punch it. And and it's just very funny.
Turn the other cheek so that you can punch that one.
Yeah, it's like why are you trying to seek their affection? You have the power. You should tell them.
Yeah.
There's one really good bit too. I think I think I've mentioned this before where, again, Jesus has not been on Earth for 2,000 years, and the first time he sees a cross, he freaks out. I'm like, what's going? Is this happening here now? Yeah. And it's just like on a building. And he's like, oh no, that's your symbol. That's how they worship you. And he's just like, triggering much.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe they shouldn't have chosen how honor
I got
me.
Murdered. Yeah.
The most traumatic day of my entire life.
Yeah.
And I'm still dealing with it.
That's amazing.
It was just a really, really smart book.
Yeah. It's like, oh, you were stabbed to death? We're all going to wear knives.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Like,
cool.
Hey, you know what? I think we're going to make statues that depict how horrifically you were murdered.
Yeah.
And then put them everywhere.
That's hilarious.
So this book is the setup is that Jesus has to do public service in Tromaville because what was he doing? He was violating several anti-Christian bias statutes by going into a church and going into a mega church and saying, "Hey, this doesn't jive."
Yeah.
Mega churches are those,
Yes.
big evangelist weird things where people yell at each other.
Gemstones, the righteous gemstones.
Yeah, he went in there and kind of disrupted the place, and now he has to do community service at a soup kitchen in Tromaville, where Melvin, the Toxic Avenger, is a janitor. And they just have an adventure, and Jesus leans into Melvin's violence because he does it for good. The whole book is kind of like not a parody, but an allegory for the difference between injustice and justice. Like people will act on injustice when they are wronged, but they won't do anything if it's a slow simmer of injustice. So he sets up a scenario where the Toxic Avenger will see something happening, so he fights the injustice. It's very heady, but also really, really, it's a parody. It's funny. The art's terrible.
Oh, cool. Let me take a look.
So in the original Second Coming book, there were two artists, Richard Pace, who does the art for the whole thing here, and Leonard Kirk. Leonard Kirk did all of the current day stuff which was very like superhero coded.
Yeah.
And Richard, right?
Richard.
Does all of the in heaven biblical stuff. So it has a like, sandpapery kind of vibe because it's almost like the illustrations in an illustrated Bible kind of a look.
Yeah.
Right. The entire book has that look. This one.
It's very sketchy.
And it's not appealing. It looks like it's the aesthetic of, the scribbles, the black and white penciled scribbles in chapter breaks in a prose book, as opposed to actual comic book panel layouts and kinetic energy moving. So I think that's the biggest down point of the book. The art I do not think matches very well with the tone of this story.
Bummer.
But it's really stupid.
Yeah.
In a fun way. And together they fight corporate greed that is preying on the homeless.
I can get behind that.
Because, if there's any two incredibly famous and effective social justice warriors, it's the Toxic Avenger and Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That tracks.
Good stuff.
Is that it?
Yeah. Well, I read Absolute Batman.
Is it still good?
It's still good. I'm
Okay.
like running out of things to say about it.
Right.
We get to meet Absolute Bane, who is absolutely big.
Mm-hmm.
And people have feelings about it.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Including the creator of Bane, I guess had feelings.
Oh,
about
really?
it. Yeah, he didn't like it.
Is that Kevin Norton?
Yeah, I think he poo-pooed it.
Oh, geez.
Whatever.
Anything you're looking forward to? Eddie Brock Carnage. I'd like to catch up on that.
I'm so behind on that
I'm definitely going to catch up on One World Under Doom.
Yes, you absolutely should. No, you know what? I don't know. I don't have my pull list in front of me. Oh, I really want to read Runaways. I'm going to read that one.
Oh, that was great. Yeah.
But,
all right.
Yeah, no, it's good stuff.
Cool. On the live stream this week, we discussed.
What?
What did we discuss?
Oh, Ballerina and Killer of Killers. Just join us every
Predator.
Wednesday.
That's right.
Yeah, just join us every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube or Facebook or wherever. Yeah. You can watch live. And we'll be in your feeds talking about comics next week.
Yeah. All right. Thanks so much for hanging out with us, and we'll talk at you later.
Do.
Thank you for listening to the Cult Pop Network, home to podcasts, live shows, and a whole lot of fun stuff for every flavor of fan. Follow us wherever you find your favorite podcasts, and be sure to join us live every Wednesday night at youtube.com/CultPopGo at 8 p.m. Eastern. While you're there, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you'll know when we drop new Thunder Rounds and episodes of Fresh Floppies, a spoiler-free show about single-issue comics released each week. Until then, we'll talk at you later.